So I have made a feature film on a zero budget. It's been shot. We wrapped in May. There's an edit with a final runtime, although there might be some little tweaks and edits along the way. So it needs music composition. It needs sound designing, editing, all that stuff, and then color grading. And then adding the credits, and then it will be done. But a film exists, a feature film exists in front of me right here. If I wasn't me and I was hearing this, someone say this, my questions would be why and how. I remember being 15 years old, watching Inception, loving Inception, having the DVD, looking at the special features on that DVD and seeing the making of, and then it kind of clicked to me that, like, oh, wow, this is a job people can have. This is not, it's, you know, films don't just magic up. They're not this, like, fairy dust entity. They're things that people make and people have careers doing so. And then since 2011, I've been you know, making shorts. I've never wanted to just make short films. Short films has always been a way of like, well, these are like cheaper ways. These are cheaper, easy accessible, kind of just instant things to make so I could still make films. But I never got into filmmaking because I fell in love with short films. You know, as I said, I watched Inception, which is a feature film. So cut like university, specifically third year of university. I make Love Bethany. Love Bethany does really well. Not only do I have people telling me how much they like it, but I'm winning awards. I'm winning 3 awards for that film, so I'm getting recognition on that level. I do a few more shorts after Love Bethany. They don't do as well as Love Bethany, but they still do decently well. You know, there's things like Alone with You, Hysteria. The music videos for Thrones, Memories and Wires that do well. I'm doing all of this independently. All of these aren't, they're not funded projects. I'm not being hired by a studio or a production company. It gradually got to the point of what's stopping me from just doing my own feature film on my own back, instead of spending 1 year making several short films. Why not spend 1 year making one feature film? In 2024, I was 29, and I'm like, I'm turning 30 next year, and I say that I always want to make a feature film, but I'm just waiting for the moment. But what am I waiting for? Why don't I just do it? I've got equipment. I'll just do it. And then it became that inner dialogue between myself going, why don't you do it, became me just by myself going, yeah, why don't I do it? I reflected a bit more on as well the short film, my favorite short film that I've made, which is 2024, which is what this film is based off. I don't know. There was just something about like a concept of someone seeing the ghost of a recently deceased one, a recently deceased loved one, and then trying to communicate with the ghost and what that would unravel. And in my head, I'm like, that could be cool. The film could be set all in one house. Like, what, you know, that's doable. And then I started seeing shots, and I saw the opening shot, and I started seeing and hearing the actors that I wanted in it in my head. And I thought, this is what I need. And then I was like, this is what I need to do. Another reason why I specifically wanted this to be a zero budget. It was a very deliberate choice to make this a zero budget feature film. I've only ever crowdfunded one project. It was Love Bethany. I thought I could get away with that because it was my final university project. Every other film that I've done, I've never crowdfunded because I feel like you can only go to that well so often. You could probably argue that, like, well, maybe R&Q's first feature film should be like the big, we're doing a crowdfunder. But my thought was, if we really make this feature film, if we really make it good, if we make it really good, and it's got strong writing, and it's a strong story, and it's solid, and people love it. This is best case scenario. People really, really love this film. I can then go, that's what we did with no money. Nothing. Imagine what we can do with something. So that's the why I made a zero budget feature film. Now I'll go on to the how. As I said, I reflected on the short film 2024. And apart from thinking about the story and the narrative of that film, the way that we made that film was just I just loved it so much. It was so special. It was a 2-day shoot. The first day of filming that short, it was me and Gary as crew members, and then Luke and Ruby as cast. And I was on camera and I directed, and then Gary, he was on clapper, and he also operated the zoom, the sound, and that was working fine. And then the second day, it was going to be kind of the same thing, but with just Connor involved. Gary was unable to attend that shoot. There was never a moment in the film where all 3 cast members were going to be in the same frame at the exact same time. So what occurred to me was like, oh, a way I can get around this is that whoever's not acting can operate sound. It just involved a bunch of us who all get along with each other, and we all have great banter with each other, just making something that wasn't, that was something more than just a daft film. It was something that meant something. Again, I look back at 2024, that film, and I go, it looks good. Why not just do that? But instead of for 2 days, for 20 days. I think it ended up being about 21 days, I think. The first 2 months, January and February, were rehearsals. Rehearsing with Luke and Ruby. And then Connor was available in February. And then we rehearsed. Then Connor got in on the rehearsals. And then by the end of February, we sat down. We looked through our availability for the month of February. And what we knew of the availability of March. But the month of February, we looked through all our availabilities. And we set days down. And then I organised what scenes we could shoot based on who's available. And that's how we did it. As long as it's me and the actors, I know we can shoot something. I know something can get shot. Any other additional crew members will be amazing, but I know for a fact that if I just sat around waiting to try to assemble this mammoth of a crew for a feature film, it wouldn't happen. And then just anyone who wanted to help out, and if they were available, they could. It was a flexible one, and it was really nice. It's great having a crew. I love having a big crew. And if I'm being honest, the next kind of film I want to have a cinematographer, and I want to have a sound op. I want to have dedicated people for those roles. For this film in particular, it was really nice to just be flexible, because again, as I said, because otherwise, I'm not sure if a film would have got made. Like a feature film, that's a lot. That's a lot of time to put in. So in my head, I'm like, well, if I just put all the pressure on me for those roles, I'm fine. I know a film can get made. I also want to just get out what equipment I use, because if I was 10 years younger, or just started out making films, and I was hearing someone made a zero budget feature film, and they said they didn't get any funding, and they used their own equipment, I would be interested. Well, what equipment did you use? Shot this on a Canon 5D Mark IV, which is what I'm filming right now on, with a Canon zoom lens, which I've got right now. It's a 24-70. I've got a small rig cage on it, which allow me to have a follow focus. I had it follow focus, which I think is very essential. Which is definitely essential. So I'm not just operating on the lens. I can, it's a lifesaver, that thing. Also used another Canon lens. It's upstairs, which was a prime 50mm lens for a few shots. I think 1.4 is the F number on that. And I've also got a Sigma lens, which is, I think it's an 18mm to 35mm lens. That was the whole lens kit for that. Used an a variable ND filter a few times. Used my own tripod. I don't know the name of it. It's a good tripod. It's one of the lesser expensive tripods that is really good quality. Yes, I used a monitor, which I'm got right now. It's a Feel World. I think it's a 4K monitor, which I attached to the camera because the Canon 5D doesn't have focus assist. And as you can see, I'm visually impaired. It's not the right word. I've got glasses. My vision's not phenomenal, so I need to know what's in focus. And I don't want the whole film to be on autofocus, so I need a monitor this monitor has focus assist. This is how I know I'm in focus right now, because I've got a load of little red little outlines and stuff and whatnot. To record with, I used a Zoom H6, which I'm currently using right now. There it is, a Zoom H6. Oh, it's not going to focus on it. There you go. Zoom H6. This is what I used to record the audio. A boom mic. I think it's a Rode NTG3. Had a blimp on it as well. Can't remember what the name of it is. Is it Bowler? Oh, I can't remember the name of the blimp. Hang on, I'll go and get it. Here it is, the blimp that I used for the microphone's still in here as well. I don't know. What's it? A Boya blimp. A boom pole, a Rode boom pole, which has seen better days. A mic stand is what I used as well. I'm trying to think, is there any... Oh, lighting wise, I have newer... They're like... they're all upstairs, everything. But they're like LED lights, which have gel slits on them if I needed to do that. I've got a set of mini aperture MCs, which was great. There was the TV effect on those got used a lot, but I also used a lot of practical lighting. The film would, it would be stuff like lamps like this that I used, and the light back there, like the fall, just to have some natural ambience. And that was, I think, I said me shoulder rigged, didn't I? Yeah, a good chunk of this was shoulder rigged. Oh, I've got like a tripod dolly thing where you attach wheels to a tripod to do some gliding. Use that a few times, not loads. And while I'm editing on, I use Premiere Pro. I don't have issues with it. The amount of people that I hear that is like, Premiere crashes on me all the time. I don't have a single issue with that. DaVinci Resolve I've used, and it's great for coloring, for editing. It's a nightmare. I'm not sure how often this kind of a work ethic would happen with me, but I have to say as well, in doing all of this in this way, I haven't had any stressful moments with this film, which is insane to say. This film means a lot to us, and we want to have fun making a film, and we want to make a feature film. I think that was also a thing. We were all excited at the thought of making a feature film. I was feeling nostalgic for it in the moment. Like, before it had ended, I was already feeling like this is great. I'm going to look back. I knew I'm going to look back so fondly of this time. And more than anything, that's what I'm grateful for. Because so often when making films, you're just so chin deep in making it. And you don't appreciate what you're doing. And it's until it's too late, until you're like, oh, well, yeah, that was a good time. But you weren't having a good time in the thick of it. Whereas like this, I was savoring every single moment of it. And it was so special to me. Oh no, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it to be complete. but I'm not rushing the end. But more than anything, I just really hope that anyone who watches this film will get something out of it. To the level of what I got out of it, I'm not saying the exact thing that I got out of it. I'm not saying that I hope people get the exact thing that I got out of this film. But I just hope that what people get out of I See Him matches the level of content, not contempt, content that I've got out of it. So yeah. That's how how and why and how I made a zero budget feature film. Thank you everybody for watching that video. I hope it was interesting. If not, I hope it was enjoyable at the least. That video was a highlighted cut down version of a longer video that went close to about 45 minutes-ish. And if you are interested in the full conversation I had with myself where I went into even more in depth of how I made a zero budget feature film, that video can be found on the new RNQ Patreon page. That is patreon.com/RNQ, where for £2.50 a month, you can have access to not only this full episode of Your Memoir, but the inevitable entire library of Your Memoir in full. I'll leave the link in the description below, but that is patreon.com/RNQ, where for £2.50 a month, you can get access to all of Your Memoir in full. It's cheaper to do it on the desktop than it is to do on the iOS app. Any support will be massively grateful that you can over there, but if not, you can also just sit back and enjoy what's uploaded here on YouTube. And speaking of such, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel of Your Memoir. And till next time, I'll see you next week.